Maybe she's anticipating harder moves to come. 3 intellect holds in a row here. First one into this undercling style hold. Oh. Oh no! She's not happy with that.
No.
Drops her tool. She almost held the swing, but just not quite happening for her there.
That's going to be an interesting move to watch going forwards. That looks like a delicate move there.
Really delicate. One thing that we observed yesterday is that Angie really likes to compete well, and she's not happy there. You see her shaking her head. It's a real shame. For Angie Reiner, it's unlikely that that's going to be a medal-winning performance. Let's hope that she can move onwards and upwards and take some positives from it. If anybody heard any bad language there, then we of course do apologise. This is an international broadcast, and it might have been an Italian expletive. We can empathise with her, Carter. We all get frustrated.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure entirely.
Yes, I believe it is.
It looks like it's moulded around it if you get up close. He's got that as a stein. He's in the back of the wall just to really talk off it, and then it looks like he's got a difficult shoulder move off that intellect hold. Uses that as an undercut to transfer left. I'd be interested to see if anybody skips that move. It looked like it was skippable. Certainly for someone of Dimitri's size.
Interesting cluster coming up as well, and see if we get some skipped holds later on after clip 5.
Yeah, clip 5, it looks like there's some choices to make. Lots of vitamin C.
Yes.
Stay topped up.
Yep. I did a little bit of sightseeing before the competition in Beijing with the Canadian team, and that was definitely a concern.
Last year in Rabenstein with a spectacular finish. Took a silver medal in Sazfei and finished 3rd in the circuit overall. And as Spolshak reaches up with that right hand, big move to start, but looks very comfortable there. Makes clip number 2, opting to clip high. Powerful shoulder move. You see his shoulders engaged there. Really, really slowly down into that right hand. Matches in with the left tool. And opts for the most right of the 2 holds, but pops out first time, places it with full certainty second time. And let's see what he does with this next sequence. He does opt to use the second hold, the intellect hold. We actually saw Yannick Glattard and Noah Bakes skipping that move and just going straight to the intellect hold and then reaching out with the left as Yannis has done. Makes clip 3. In there with that. And again, he skips the 2 intellect holds to go for the 1 red disc. Takes the right hand position.
That's a difficult thing here. You know, for me, looking at it, it wasn't quite certain where the most challenging parts were going to be.
Because the route doesn't look astonishingly hard, it just looks very technical.
Correct. I think that's definitely a difference between these routes here and some of the other competitions in previous years. Is definitely difficult holds.
What style would you say people prefer in general? Powerful on better hold? Yeah. No. So what about you?
For me, I think I'd say technical.
Oh no, and another fall. Jana Schvolsak falling at number 6. Off the underside of that volume, so that'll put him behind Noah Bake and Yannick Letard, but ahead of Dmitry Grebenikov. Not the best we've seen from Janusz Wolsak, but no performance that you should be disappointed with. It was a great effort on this extremely technical route. On the right-hand side now, we're going to see our second female Russian climber. But first, let's check out this replay. You see that right toe blow, which just pushes him away from the wall and back to the floor. We've seen Masha Edler climb. Now it's time to see Ekaterina Vlasova. Again, thank you so much for everybody's patience with the technical problems we're having. If you're trying to watch live, we are doing our very best to keep the stream up and running and to keep you guys with live pictures. But if unfortunately it doesn't improve, then you can watch the whole broadcast full and uninterrupted on the UIAA Facebook, Twitter and YouTube channels. We always love to hear from you. Questions and comments, shout-outs, selfies, and of course emoji challenges. Grab that phone, stick some emojis in there, and use that hashtag UIAA Ice Climbing. Send in all those things. We love to hear from you. So Katerina Vlasova on the first part of the route. Vlasova, of course, Carter had that issue where she didn't make finals in Durango. She fell low on the semi-finals route. What's going to be going through her mind at this point?
Well, definitely with these difficult moves, I think it's just nice and slow. Oh.
Is she going to be relieved to be in finals?
Yes, I think she'll be quite pleased to have made it this far.
Of course, Vlasova last season made every final that she competed in. She came second in Bozeman, third in Cheongsong, 8th in Sazfe and 4th in Rabenstein, finishing second on the tour overall. She was visibly upset with not qualifying last month rather. So great to see her back in the finals this week.
So you can see there, she using her hand, she sort of checked out and felt around on that hold to try and understand what it's like and how her pick is interacting with that.
Makes clip number 3. Into that powerful position on the left hand. Makes clip number 4 off that right hand. No, she doesn't. Just struggling to make that clip. Swinging around a little bit. There it is. Makes the clip. She's going to reach up to the furthest right part of the wall.
Here's the move to watch here. Let's see.
And of course, we've seen a lot of climbers fall in at this point and the move after it, but Vlasova at this point looking fairly comfortable. One of our taller athletes as well. Reaches up right hand into that intellect hold, and this is the move that caused so many climbers trouble. reaches in with that left hand. The right hand looking totally solid. Comfortable on those intellect holds where everybody else has struggled. Makes clip number 6. Solid in that undercut position. Maybe even a Stein, that hard to make out on the screen, but she looks really comfortable there. I'd say that's probably a Stein just by the way she's holding it. Of course, a Stein, I was asked the other day what a Stein pull actually is by definition. When the head of the axe rests against the wall in an inverted position, so you can really torque away from that hold. You say that's a good definition, Carter?
Absolutely.
Thanks. Vlasova's down. Folds at clip 6. Struggling with that move. Hard to make out there whether she's actually frustrated or whether she's happy with that one. Taking a breath, waiting to be untied.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Top Hee-young from Korea.
So next up, let's just take a quick look at that replay. Up with the left hand into that powerful stand position just above clip number 4. And this was the point where we saw a fall. Watch that pick. Oh, it just blows there. So now, on the left-hand side of the wall, our next male competitor, and our first Korean competitor of the evening, Mr. Hyung Park. Great character, very popular. So here he goes. Kicks into the wall very quickly indeed to make those initial moves. Reaching back down with the right hand just to settle himself as he finds the right position for this first big move. Moves from that left hand undercut. Oh wow, he's opting to... I thought he was going to skip it then. Changes his mind, repositions that left hold. Almost popping off there, but keeps it together. Good composure. Of course, Hyung Park finished 6th last month in Durango. He finished 2nd overall last year, taking 1st in Cheongsong, and another podium in Rabenstein with a 3rd place. Carter, it's interesting watching the different athletes and the different nationalities and how their technique differs. Are there any particular attributes that you would put or characteristics to each nation?
I think there's some generalities. I think some of that can come from the equipment they use. If you'll notice, some of the Korean competitors have quite long tools with 3 grips. So that does change a little bit about the tactics you'll take or the placements on the tools. And also you've got some of the French and European competitors with a DTS style, dry tool style.
Of course, yeah.
Which is a lack of figure 4s or figure 9s and just muscling through everything there.
And it's interesting watching people like Yannick Glatard Of course, he's the only Swiss climber on the circuit at the moment, but if you remember back to someone like Sam Antermatten, who had almost an identical style of climbing, very fast, very powerful. Hyung Park swings for that right hand, but Sam Antermatten, from exactly the same village as Yannick. I wonder if it's something in the water there, maybe. Hyung Park rolls down into that right hand underneath the volume, switches it to the left and makes clip number 5. Opts for the central of the 3 holds again. All climbers have read it that way so far. Hyung Park again, one of our shorter competitors. Should be easier for him to stand up above that roof and makes that move up to the high right hand hook hold, looking pretty comfortable at this stage. High grip on the right hand tool into the 4, up with the left. Another delicate intellect placement. Again, a high grip with the right hand, clips number 6. So we get to the volume where we saw Janez Zvolciak come a cropper. Just building his feet across with small kicks, keeping that tension strong. Goes with the left hand, changes his mind. He's going to switch to the right. He is going to take it as a backhand. Very powerful move, this. Of course, we saw Yannick Letard taking that and really locking in with the right hand. Taking a deep shoulder, very bicep-intensive move. See the head of that axe shifting. He's going to have to move quickly. His fatigue sets in. Builds up that momentum like a coiled spring and hits the undercut by clip number 7. Just over halfway on that wall now. The last 3 clips coming in quick succession. Almost breaking onto the head wall. Great precision there from Hyung Park. Reaches up with the right hand. Matches him with the left to make clip number 8. Composes himself with over 2 minutes on the clock. He's got plenty of time to go to make these final moves and these final clips. 10 clips in total for the men. Another powerful undercut move. Keeping that tension in the hips. Pushing away from that volume with his left hand to keep that tension. Aiding the body tension. He reaches out left. Looks like he's skipping a hold, but he goes back. Just trying to make his decision. Into that intellect hold. Takes the tool and matches with the right tool on top of the intellect hold. The route setter's doing a great job of forcing that sequence. You saw Hyung Park trying to skip that move, but no such luck. He reaches in off that deep bicep lock. Really, really shouldery position. Crucial feet placements here. Left hand over and he pops again, and we saw the right hand pop. He tried to control the swing, but it wasn't happening. He makes clip 9, and a great effort for Hyung Park. Looks a little bit disappointed. Doesn't know that he has the high point so far. Carter, what did you think of that one?
That was a great performance. The last move there that he fell off of is quite an interesting, powerful looking move there.
How did you read that move?
I didn't look a whole lot at that. I was concentrating on the lower moves that people were on, but definitely looks powerful.
Rick Falls has got in touch to ask if there are any Canadian finalists, and of course, Rick, there were 2 Canadian finalists. You'll be able to watch both of those in the replay if you missed them. We had Noah Bake representing the men, who climbed very well, and Ineke Rehbergen representing the ladies. Next out, and another Korean athlete, this time our third place qualifier for the ladies, Miss Hanarai Song.
攀冰世界杯的冠军，不仅仅在韩国，在这个欧洲、意大利也获得过冠军，所以期待着今天精彩的表现。
Hanarai just getting herself prepared and tied in.
从这个我个人对攀岩和攀冰这两项运动的理解，尤其对我们今天男动赛的理解，这位运动员的技术动作是
Reminding herself of those moves before she gets started.
尤其是女子方面哈。那接下来呢，还会有另外一位俄罗斯的老将，他的技术动作也最值得分析啊。所以大家仔细观看我们这个运动员在每一个支点上的处理，他的技术动作，他使用哪方面的肌肉的力量，什么样的动作，仔细来观看。很希望你能够登顶线路，加油！
Almost ready to get near now with Hanarai. Suffered from a low fall in the women's final last month in Durango. She finished 6th overall. We have a tweet in from Ewan Simpson. He's asked, is the official term for the climbing surface the wall? Tricky questions from Ewan. I mean, there's no official term. We call it the wall. You call it the wall, don't you?
Yeah.
Does anybody call it anything else?
The only other option I'd say would maybe be the plywood.
The plywood.
And
We could be down with the kids and call it the ply.
yeah.
But let's call it the wall. I'm not down with the kids, I don't know about you. Hanarai Song kicking into the wall. Thanks for that question, Ewan. And moving well on these delicate start moves. No trouble for her there on that initial sequence. Strong kicks below that white hexagonal volume. It's not hexagonal, is it? It's only got 5 sides, Carter. It's a pentagon. Sorry, everybody. Pentagonal volume. I thought it had 6. It's definitely 5.
Absolutely 5.
Takes clip number 3 and positions a tool delicately into the intellect hold just left of it. Matches in, high grip on that right hand tool, crosses over with the left. A very similar move again there to make clip number 4. She's going to need to rematch on that tool, change her grip to the left hand and reach up high and right, adjacent to that number 4. If you've got any questions for myself or for Carter, maybe you just want to wish him well with his stabby thumb, then you can do so. Use that hashtag UIAA Ice Climbing. Hanarai Song just losing a bit of a footing there, but managing to keep strong in the shoulder, coiling it back in. Looked like she was going to pop, but very strong and managed to keep it going. And this is that position we've seen scupper so many climbers. Looks really comfortable there, leaning away on that intellect hold. And she looked so casual in the semi-finals yesterday. She's emulating that performance so far. Kicks through behind herself and walks her feet all the way across. Reaches up with that left hand. Big high reach into another one of those circular discs with the stone holds. Takes another high grip with the right hand. Big move to an intellect hold. Oh, and another pop there. Nasty fall, but she manages to right herself. She'll be disappointed with that. She looked so smooth up to that point, Carter.
Yes, that was quite a strong performance there. quite fast too, I believe. It looked like she had maybe 4 minutes left.
Really fast, but it just seems that these holds are causing a lot of trouble to the athletes. Well, with Hannah Rai Song not quite performing exactly how she'd want to, that leaves the door wide open for the likes of Won-Seon Shin and Maria Tolokonina. Only 2 more ladies to go in this lead World Cup final. In the men's, we have 3 climbers. Of course, we are alternating between men and women. Next up, we'll have the albatross himself, 50-year-old Sergei Tarasov. Carter, it looks like you're donning some specialist clothing here.
Absolutely, putting some puffy pants on here. It's a little
puffy
cold
pants. I'm also wearing puffy pants. Bit of insight onto crucial attire here at the Ice Climbing World Cups. A pair of well-insulated trousers and a well-insulated jacket is a must. It's pretty cold here. In fact, I'm not exactly sure what temperature we're on today. Let's have a look. Somewhere in the region of -5 to +2. So quite cold. I'd guess it's probably +2 in the sunshine and -5 in the shade. Carter, we are in the shade.
Yes, we are.
I don't do Fahrenheit very well, so if you are in America or Canada, then sorry. Do you know what -5 is in Fahrenheit? I believe you call it something like -20.
-5. Yeah.
I just made that up. I just know that you don't say minus.
So be careful there. Canada's on Celsius there.
Are they?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's good. At least Canada saw sense. Sergei Tarasov just getting himself tied in. Sergei Tarasov gets his finals attempt underway. Moves with that right hand up to the first undercut. Okay, the temperature apparently is 20 degrees, between 20 and 25 degrees Fahrenheit. That's all I know. Less of the temperature, more of the climbing. Sergei Tarasov, open right, big move to start. Clips number 2. Takes that delicate hold as a shoulder. Oh no! Sergei Tarasov opting for the Fig 4. Low down on that route where we saw other climbers just standing up strong into that that stein in the roof. Unfortunately, the Fig 4 didn't work out for Sergei, and he popped off the hold just by clip 2. So that's the end of his attempt. He's just taking the end of his tools, see if there's any breakage. Bad luck for the 50-year-old Russian climber. So we'll move on from Sergei Tarasov. You can see he's visibly disappointed there. And we can welcome our final Korean competitor. But first, let's just have a look at that. Everybody else actually went straight up there, right hand into the stein. Sergei opted for that Fig 4, and you see, just as he's trying to get that right foot over, he just kicks his wrist, causes some pick shift, and he's out of there. So there's Won-Seon Shin just tying in, reminding himself of the moves. No fairy tale finish for Sergei Tarasov. Won Shin, of course, took the gold medal last month in Durango. First gold of the season. She was very pleased to do so. A lot of people rooting for her back at home in Korea and here in Beijing, hoping that she'll be able to make it 2 out of 2. Don't forget, you can get in touch on Twitter. Use that hashtag UIAA Ice Climbing. Won Shin almost ready to go. And here we go. So she gets off to a quick start, moving those feet very quickly. As she advances up those initial moves. Over on YouTube, Rick Falls has said that it's -3 Fahrenheit in Edmonton, Alberta. That's Canadian.
Yes.
He's just used Fahrenheit. Get back in your box, Carter. Won Shin looking solid on those initial sketchy moves. Into that left hand undercut that she's got as a backhand. And climbs level with the first clip. Of course, all the first quick draws are clipped during the ice climbing competitions. Safety first, Carter.
Yes, that's quite a convenient thing.
Don't want any ground falls, do we?
No ground falls.
I have a favourite saying in situations like this. Safety is no accident.
No, it's not.
I'll let you think about that. It's a classic that. Goes so many ways, you see. Back to Won Shin. She matches in across herself on that right hand edge. Up with that left hand, level with clip 3, which she's clipped now. Kicks onto the underside of the wall, kicks around onto the face. Matches in across herself. Really great core tension there. And up with the left hand. Great body position. She moves so well, Won Shin, Carter.
Yes, very, very deliberate movements there.
Her style is almost elegant, you might say.
Yes. One thing I thought was interesting on that last hold there was the amount of hand movement on her tool, but very precise.
So she's on that intellect hold, and let's see some more of that precision. She switches the direction of her tool. High grip into that undercut on the underside of that volume. Up with the right hand. This is the delicate move that's caused so many problems for so many climbers. She's going to be wanting to get clip number 5 clipped before she moves, but she hasn't, which is a dangerous game to play. She's very confident in her ability. Makes clip 5. She's going to clip again for clip 6. Nope, she's not. I'm very surprised. Opts for that Stein. Still quite difficult to tell whether it's a Stein. Carter, can you tell? Oh no, it's the head of the axe is definitely moving.
Yeah, I don't think the pressure's quite there on the back wall.
Definitely an undercut. Hard move now. Just trying to get a good body position for this next hard move. There it is. Won Shin at this point climbing on her way to a new high point. High grip with the right hand. Another big kick with that left foot. And places the left tool into that delicate intellect hold. And this is a really intensive position. Kicks the right foot low into that volume. Great position of that volume. The route setters really testing the athletes' route reading skills and their memories. It's not always possible to see the holds and the positions. Wunxian Shin now making clip 7. And a round of applause from the crowd as she gets that clip and now reaches up firmly into that left hand. That is a Stein. She's going to crank hard off that and just hope that the hold doesn't break. Those softer holds testing the athletes and testing the nerve. Makes clip number 8. Only one more clip to go for Wunxian Shin. Call it, Carter. What are we going to see? Don't do it. You'll curse her. Hard move. Really powerful from Stein to Stein. Hits the right hand Stein. Matches in on it. Takes the left hand as a backhand grip. Shaking now. She's feeling the pump. She's still got 1 minute and 30 seconds on the clock. Plenty of time to make one more move after this one. Kicks hard with the right hand. This is a fantastic attempt from Wunxian Shin. And could it be a way to another medal? Almost certainly, as she kicks high with that right foot. The crowd shouting their support. Opts for the Fig 4. Pushes away off the wall with her right hand. She's uncertain as to whether to reach up with that right or not. She adjusts the left foot, comes back down. Shakes in that Fig 9 position over the right hand. Switches back to the left 4. Up with the right. Just missing that last hold. It's nail-biting stuff here. Resting on the right 9. She's pumped. She's still got 41 seconds left on the clock. Come on, Wunxian Shin. She's desperate for that hold. The crowd are desperate for her to take it as well. Left over again. Right hand on the top hold. She cuts loose. Matches the left hand. Makes the clip. She needs to match that tool. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first top of the round and the second top of the season in the finals, Wunxian Shin staking her claim for a podium position. What a brilliant attempt. Carter Strict, what do you think of that one?
That was a fantastic climb.
So enthusiastic, Carter.
That was a great performance. It really
was a wonderful performance. I'll tell you what, I've asked you what you think. I'm going to ask this young man what he thinks. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome young Canadian Noah Bake to the stage. Noah, congratulations on a brilliant, brilliant attempt.
Thank you.
What do you think of that?
That was amazing.
So cool.
She put a lot of effort into that, and you can tell that she was very happy with how...
Fighting so hard on those last moves, really thrashing, just shaking, trying to stay composed.
Giving it her all.
What would have been going through your mind at that point?
Just go for it.
And she did.
Yeah.
Awesome effort. Talk us through your performance, Noah.
It was extremely hard. It's very powerful. I think it went fairly well, though. I think I read the route, I read the route as I wanted it to go, and...
You climbed really, really well. You looked like you were climbing with conviction and with good style. Is there any particular highlight of the route for you?
I think the undercling intellect to undercling intellect.
That was
insanely
strong.
Physical.
So at this moment in time, according to the rankings, you're still sitting in 3rd place.
Yeah.
Of course, there are still 2 climbers to come out. We've got Alexei Dengin and Nikolai Kuzovlev, of course.
Very, very good.
Very talented climbers, both medal winners.
Yes.
Gold and silver, in fact, from last month in Durango.
Very good show.
You can still bite your nails, though.
Yes. Oh, they're all gone.
Yannick Letard currently sitting in 2nd place behind Korean athlete Hyung Park.
I believe they tied on that route, right? And because of preliminaries? Semifinals.
If they weren't tied, they were very, very close for sure. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
I think they both hit the Gaston to Gaston, but then popped.
And there is Alexei Dengin on the screen. Alexei getting off to the start of his first route. Noah, I'm going to let you go here, but again, congratulations on another final.
Thank you.
Brilliant attempt.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll see more of you in the finals next week in Korea. Take care.
Okay, see ya.
So I'm rejoined by Carter Stritch, and we go back to the action on the wall as Alexei Dengin places that left hand first undercut move off the volume. Big move, big lock, but very strong biceps. Alexei Dengin reaches up for that right hand just below clip number 2. Matti Matata's got in touch on YouTube, Carter, and he said, Liam, Carter was correct. Canada does not use Fahrenheit, but it used to a long time ago, and there are many older people, quote unquote, who still use it. I'm not sure if Matti Matata has been getting at Rick Foles there for using Fahrenheit, or if he's getting at me for knocking you. Anyway, Matti Matata, thank you for getting in touch, and Carter's beaming here that he's been proved right. That's fine. Don't worry. I'll get him some way.
I just hope the U.S. is right behind Canada in that. Switching over to the Celsius.
So Alexei Dengin on that first disc hold in the roof, opting for that. And now it looks like, as he makes that clip, that he's going to do what I said at the beginning, which was skip the move. And we've seen him do that. I'm glad Alexei's done that. Oh no! I'm not glad Alexei's done that. I can't believe that. Carter, say something. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Really,
I think I'm a little speechless after.
really unfortunate. An absolute shocker for Alexei Dengin. Let's just watch that back. So he had that right hand, the left hand placement held, kicks in with the right, kicks in with the left. It was the left that blew. The right Stein totally solid. I feel less bad because it was solid, but just a reach too far. Alexei Dengin really disappointed after that gold medal performance last month in Durango. Visibly disappointed, and understandably so, with that low fall. And he was so confident and climbed so well yesterday. Very, very upsetting to see that for Alexei Dengin. Noah Baek remaining in third place. Yannick Gotthard in second, Hyung Park in first. And then we go back to the ladies' competition on the right-hand side of the wall. Masha Tolokanina, of course, last year's overall winner, who had a disappointing finish in last month's competition in Durango. She had a low fall, meaning she placed 8th. We'll be hoping to better that somewhat, and maybe we will see our second top of the competition. Carter, what do you think? Maria Tolokanina, is she going to top?
I think we'll see a pretty good performance from her here.
So Maria just sorts herself out, prepares herself for the final time of this competition, places the tools, gets off to a start. Maria definitely I think the shortest competitor in the final. I'm not quite sure who's shorter, her or Angie. Pretty sure it's Maria.
I think you're correct.
But size not being an issue here.
No.
Both climbers extremely
Definitely
strong.
not.
And Maria moving with supreme confidence off those holds where we saw the athletes earlier in the final, moving very tentatively. Maria looks like she's been hanging off those all year in the pre-season training. Reaches up with the right hand and moves parallel with clip number 1. Big shoulder move now. You see that right hand shaking under the pressure, but no problem. Ian McLeod's commented on YouTube to say it's great to hear from Noah and it's a great effort from him at this comp. Cranbrook is proud of him. And an amazing climb from Wunxian Shin. Totally right. Great to have you on board, Ian. Thanks for tuning in. He did tune in yesterday, of course, as well, and it's great to have regularly consistent viewers and regularly consistent commenters. Don't forget, you can join that exclusive club. #UIAA Ice Climbing. Maria Tolokanina looking really, really comfortable at this stage. She had a knee on the volume a second ago. I believe the correct term for that is a technical knee. Carter?
I don't know that I've heard that one before.
Yeah, it's one I created.
All right.
The old technical knee. You know when you're really desperate and nothing else can work, you just throw the knee on?
Yeah.
Technical knee.
Technical knee, yeah.
Bad style, but you have to think of something to make it sound
Now
good.
it's on the web, so I think that is
basically
the
official.
term now.
Get it on Urban Dictionary. Maria Tolokanina moves out to that right hold, parallel with with clip number 4 rather. Into that Stein on the underside of the volume. Moving very quickly at this stage. 4 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock.
Wow.
Makes the clip of number 5. And again, cruising over that hold. Well, we saw so many climbers have trouble. And makes clip number 6 early. We saw Wunseon Shin opting to make that clip later. Don't think it's going to cause too many troubles. Maria Tolokanina moving her feet across to the left side of the wall. In the corner now. Big twist. Look at that lock. Classic move from Maria Tolokanina. Locks all the way over that right hand. So strong. Such impressive ability to lock deeply. Reaches high for clip number 7. And at this stage, I'd say that unless something happened that was a big surprise, she looks very comfortable, very much in control. Places that left tool. Makes clip number 8. She only has one more clip to go. Oh, and just misses the placement the first time on that Stein. Cranks into it though, she's in it now. Just 2 more moves to go. Shakes out. Really fast time from Maria Tolokanina. Up with the left hand. Misses it first time. Kicks in with the right foot again to look for it second time. She's not found the hold. She's going to have to readjust. Up again with that left hand. Hits it. Not very secure, but she's in the placement nonetheless. And we saw Wunseon Shin trying a different couple of techniques to get up to that last hold. Tolokanina opts for the Fig 4 over the left hand. Big deep lock. Right hand up to the finishing hold. And she cuts loose, but stays composed. Very close moment there for Maria Tolokanina. Makes the final clip, and all she needs to do is match. And there it is, the first gold medal of the season for the Russian Maria Tolokanina. Awesome work, and a sigh of relief from the Russian team and all of the fans with that nail-biting finish as she very, very nearly didn't top that route. What a finish, and an emotional finish from Maria Tolokanina. You can see visibly emotional, so happy to finish with a gold. She wanted it in Durango. She's got it here in Beijing. Deep breaths and a big thumbs up from the pint-sized Russian. Great effort from Maria Tolokanina. Let's see some of that action in replay. This was a big move past clip 6. Hit it first time, even after scuffing the underside of it. Kicks in so powerfully. And of course, up to clip number 8. That Stein that didn't want to go in the first time, but placed with no doubts the second time. And of course, that last move where she released that Fig 4, popped, and only just held it together. Heart in the mouth moment, but no trouble for last year's overall champion, Maria Tolokanina of Russia. And so we turn our attention back to the left-hand side of the wall. Nikolai Kuzovlev rejoins us. What do you say, Carter? Nikolai Kuzovlev's about to get on the wall. We've seen a lot of very talented athletes falling in weird positions. Mr. Kuzovlev took silver last week in Durango. He has the opportunity to take gold. This route's yet to see a top.
I think there's a chance we'll see it.
Well, there is a chance we'll see it, Carter.
Very good chance.
Yes, that's an obvious thing to say. I want you to call it. I want you to be concrete. I want you to put your neck on the line, pal. Silence from Carter Stridge. Crikey, it's getting blood out of a stone with Carter. Nevertheless, Nikolai Kozlovlev gets himself prepared for his final route here in Beijing. The standings for the men, of course, with Noah Bake in third place, Yannick Glatard in second place, Hyung Park in first place. Only Nikolai Kozlovlev can change that. And he almost falls at the first hurdle there. But no trouble. And he gets going, staying composed. Of course, in the ladies' result, we now have it confirmed. Hannah Rai Song and Mun Xian Shin in third and second place, respectively. Maria Tolokanina in first. Those are provisional results. But unless something drastic changes with an appeal, which I can't see any reason for, then those will be the women's podium places. Nikolai Kozlovlev reaching across to the position where we saw Alexei Dengin opt for that hold, and Kozlovlev does the same thing, opts for the right-hand hold. Kozlovlev being a shorter competitor, are we going to see him skip that intellect hold as well? He opts not to skip the move, goes into that intellect hold to get closer, matches him with the tool, just as we saw Dmitry Grebenikov do as the first attempt. The final climber does it as well. Carter, he qualified first, so he performed best yesterday in the semi-finals. Is there any disadvantage or advantage to coming out last, do you think?
Definitely, there can be a little bit disadvantage with the nerves, sitting in isolation for the longest time. You can be in there for a couple hours. But as far as holds go, for the most part, there shouldn't be a difference between the holds. The judges are watching for that, looking for breaking holds. And as we saw earlier, there was some maintenance done by the judges and the route setters, actually. And
it's actually worth, I think at this point, giving a big shout out to the judges and all the local organisers and officials who've done a fantastic job here in Beijing, and of course last month in Durango. These competitions just would be impossible to hold without the hard work that those guys do. So a big thank you and a big shout out to those. Nikolai Kozlovlev reaches rightwards to that red disc and cuts loose, and a bit of pick shift while he was loose there. That'll be nerve-wracking for him. He doesn't look totally solid there. Take this opportunity as well to thank our sponsors of the Ice Climbing World Cup circuit, the North Face Korea. Definitely wouldn't be possible without their support. Kozlovlev just recomposing himself after that sketchy situation there. Shakes out with 4 minutes and 24 seconds to go. Now, Nikolai, you hear the crowd all gave a resounding ooh as Nikolai Kozlovlev opted for the intellect hold there. The first and only climber to take that intellect hold as a Stein. And I hope that doesn't cause him any problems. It doesn't. He's so strong and great stability there. It looked like he had the actual head of the axe on the stone hold below it.
It did. So it'll be interesting to see if the judges saw that and what they're going to call on that.
Because technically you're not allowed to use that red hold.
Correct.
It'd be interesting to see if any of the athletes have they'll call for an appeal.
Attention please, attention please. The result for female final is published. Attention please, attention please. The result for female...
Nikolai Kozlovlev moving leftwards into the underside of the volume, parallel with clip number 6. Kozlovlev opting to go right hand high into the side of that volume and then goes up into that Stein. Cranks hard on the left hand under the undercut. On the Stein rather, of the hold number 7. Makes the clip right by there. Matches him with that right tool. Double Stein now. Looking really comfortable. Right hand up to the right side of the volume below clip number 8. Drops the Fig 4 over the left hand. Makes clip number 8. Shaking out again, looking very comfortable, very calm and collected. with 2 minutes and 28 seconds on the clock. Only 2 more clips to go for Nikolai Kuzovlev, but lots more moves. Of course, we saw Hyung Park getting up to this high point. Places that Stein next to clip number 8. Reaches up, makes clip number 9. Reaches over and doesn't try to skip the move like we saw Hyung Park do. Takes that intellect hold with the left hand. Matches high on the tool with the right hand. And now in that powerful shoulder move. Goes left, and can he climb his way into first place? At this moment in time he can do. If he can take that next hold. There it is. Nikolai Kuzovlev, unless something changes, secures the gold medal. Takes the last hold, and all he has to do is clip and match. Nikolai Kuzovlev reaches down with the left hand, clips the final clip, matches with the tool, and ladies and gentlemen, there it is. Another Russian gold medal. Nikolai Kuzovlev secures gold medal here in Beijing, punches the air with happiness. Maria Tolokanina and Nikolai Kuzovlev taking the top spots in the men's and women's lead finals here at the 2017 UIAA Ice Climbing World Cup. And what an exciting finish. Carter, what did you think to that?
That was a great end to the route there. That was powerful moves going right there past clip number 9. He performed quite well there.
Brilliantly, and set himself way apart from Hyung Park. What will be interesting is to see if Hyung Park appeals that use of the head on that hold next to the intellect Stein. He used the head of the axe on the red out of bounds disc. So it's possible that somebody will appeal, but at this stage doesn't look like it's happened. You can see the winning performance there on the replay. Russian teammates running in to congratulate Nikolai Kuzovlev on his gold medal.
All the rule setters, the judges, all the staff, the cameraman, thank you so much for all the supporting of our competition. We're going to have the awarding ceremony. See you later. Bye-bye.
There it is, making that final clip and topping out on the route. A brilliant effort from Nikolai Kuzovlev and a punch of the air. What a happy chappy he is. And so that concludes our competition here in Beijing. Of course, we had a fantastic event yesterday with the speed competition. We've had a wonderful competition here today, the lead competition. Yesterday, Nikolai Shved, Vladimir Kartashov and Radomir Proshenko taking bronze, silver and gold respectively in the men's speed competition. And in the ladies comp, very, very fast climbs from Nadia Galyamova, Maria Tolokanina and Ekaterina Kashiva taking their podium positions, bronze, silver, gold respectively. And then of course, there are your lead final results. Hannah Rai Song taking bronze here, Wonseon Shin taking silver, and Maria Tolokanina of Russia taking her first gold medal of the season and second medal of the competition. Looking at the men's results to recap, we had a wonderful final, very exciting, and Noah Bake just getting bumped out of a medals position with that last climb by Nikolai Kuzovlev finishing in fourth. Yannick Letard, the young Swiss climber, restates how much he means business here and takes a third position bronze medal, his first of the season here in Beijing. Hyung Park taking silver medal and Nikolai Kuzovlev finishing on the top spot with a gold. Carter, the Russians have dominated once again.
Yes.
What is it that makes them so damn good?
I think it's access to structures and great support system with their teammates and coaches.
Well, we'll be in Sazfei next week to find out just how good the Russians are and if anybody else can challenge them. There'll be a lot more climbers, the European teams. We're not in Sazfei next week, are we?
No, we'll be in Korea.
You're supposed to stop me and go, Liam, we're in Korea.
I was just thinking about the great food. I was distracted there.
Let's make a little correction. Next week we will be in Korea. We're going to see a strong Korean contingent. We're going to see more climbers, We're going to see people looking to take home medals. Of course, Won Seon-shin and Hannah Rai-song will be challenging for that top spot, as will Hyung Park. The Russians are going to be looking to stop them, and of course all those European athletes are going to be doing their best to make their claim for the podium. It's been an absolute pleasure having you with me today, Carter. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Do join us next week in Cheongsong. It's been a pleasure, and we have to at this point thank, of course, the volunteers, the judges, the officials. A big thank you to the sponsors, the North Face Korea. It would not be possible without them. A huge thank you and a warm hug to the Chinese Mountaineering Association, our hosts for this event. They've done a brilliant job for their first time in China, and of course a big thank you to the UIAA. My name is Liam Lonsdale. It's been my pleasure to look after you all during this competition, and I will be back next week in Cheongsong with the guys at Mountain TV. A huge thank you to the guys at QTV Sports who were with us in Durango and here in Beijing. They'll be back with us in Sazfei, Rabenstein and Champagny. I'll see you next week in Cheongsong. Don't forget to get in touch on Twitter, Facebook and YouTube. Use that hashtag UIAA Ice Climbing. And until next week in Korea, it's a very good afternoon.